What's up, y'all? So, as you know, I'm a big fan of the women in boxing. So, what I wanted to do was to put together a little something just to talk about them, to talk about those 11 fighters that are going to be in Undisputed for early access. Because I hear some crazy stuff, man. I be hearing some crazy stuff talking about women are trash, women's boxing is nothing. I see it in the comments. I know, not in my comments, but in other people's comments. I see it, and I just want to put an end to it, man, because it's just not correct. Women's boxing is booming. I'm telling you, it's on fire. Jump on board if you're not. They are entertaining. Yes, it's 2-minute rounds, but it's entertaining as heck. And the talent pool is increasing, and the more you watch it, the more you will see how much it's increased. So I don't want to talk too much on this portion. The video's coming up. Let me know what your thoughts are at the end. But I'm telling you, you will be educated on these fighters. And I want to make sure you're choosing the right fighter and you're using them correctly according to their style. So check the video out. Let me know what you think. And I'll catch you on the next one. Peace. Okay, so a quick note about the women's early access roster before we get into it. Realize there are no journeywomen on this list. They are all world level fighters that are either champions, currently highly ranked contenders within the sanctioning bodies, or have competed at world level for world titles. The only woman on the list that has not won a world title is Sophie Alisch, and she's only 21 years old. And even she is now a contender at featherweight. So props to SCI. It needs to go out to SCI and the Undisputed team for giving us some serious talent to work with on the men's side and the women's side for early access. So make good use of these fighters, y'all. But I'm going to help you out with the women. First up, Katie Taylor. The weight she's fought at is lightweight and super lightweight. Her world titles won. She's undisputed at lightweight, and she won the WBO at super lightweight. So the style of fighter that Katie Taylor is, all right, hear me out. Anyone that watches Katie Taylor notices right away how fast her hands are. She has had issues recently with her legs betraying her, which affects her defense because she likes to use her movement as defense more than catching and countering or using the high guard. Taylor is an in and out fighter. I have heard other fighters say she still has an amateur style, but no matter her style, she keeps on winning and has taken on some of the biggest names of her era. Her resume stands as one of the best, and is why she is seen as 1 or 2 on all pound for pound lists, with only 2 others in her stratosphere, and you know who those are. And if you don't, I'll let you know. Clarissa Shields and Amanda Serrano. Both are future Hall of Famers. So give Katie Taylor her roses now. I'm beyond excited she is in the game, because if you ever want to test the skills of another fighter or fighting style on the women's side, she will be a great one to go against. That, of course, if she is used properly. So Chantelle Cameron, the weights she's fought at are super featherweight, lightweight, and super lightweight. She's the undisputed super lightweight champ. The style of fighter that Cameron can box and move, she can bang, she can switch stances, but does most of her damage at orthodox. She has a good jab and good ring IQ. She applies smart pressure and is very composed. That's one thing I like about Chantelle Cameron, is that she is very composed. She is sound, but not impenetrable defensively, and always seems to know what she wants to do in the ring, and is capable of adjusting. She possesses a very good all-around skill set. So if that's the type of fighter you're looking for, that's your choice, Chantelle Cameron. Now Jessica McCaskill, she's fought at lightweight, super lightweight, and welterweight. Her world titles won, is undisputed welterweight champ, and she was the unified WBC and WBA super lightweight champ. The style of fighter that Jessica McCaskill is, she's physically strong, extremely tough come forward slugger, and she has an unorthodox style. Punches come from all angles, like an octopus. You never know where it's coming from, but she's swinging. She doesn't really have consistent use of her jab, but she has a good work rate. That's definitely going to test her opponent's boxing ability, fitness level, and their will to continue. Just go look at that Alma Ibarra fight. when she had her quit on her stool. She just didn't want it anymore. So McCaskill definitely brings the heat when she's in there. She can be outboxed, but it is not an easy task. So if you're looking for a strong pressure fighter, come forward. You like to wing those hooks and wing those shots. When you're playing Undisputed, Jessica McCaskill is definitely going to be a fighter that you're choosing. Cecilia Braekhus. The weight she's fought at is super lightweight, welterweight, super welterweight. Her world titles won are at welterweight. She was the first 4-belt era Undisputed champ. Her style of fighting, she's a consummate boxer. You don't see much wasted movement from Braekhus. She likes to fight at range, has a good jab, doesn't focus on the body, judicious with her combination punching. She prefers to back out of range and reestablish more than counterpunch, but she isn't opposed if she gets the right shot. I think that's the thing when I'm watching her. She needs to make sure that's the right shot. If she's not comfortable, she's not throwing. You know, some fighters they'll just wing it. They will just throw and they can get caught. But she's a little more cautious with her counterpunch. So if you prefer to box at range, but you don't want to move around the ring a lot, you're not one of those people that like to circle around the ring, Cecilia Braekhus is a good choice because that's pretty much how she fights. She fights at range, she gets out of danger, she's not an inside fighter, she's not a big time mover. So if that's your style, choose Cecilia Braekhus when you're playing Undisputed during early access. Terri Harper. The weights fought at for Terri Harper is super featherweight, lightweight, super lightweight, and super welterweight. Her world titles won is the WBC super featherweight and the WBA super welterweight champ. You notice that's a big difference because Terri Harper took a big jump. She went from 130 pounds, had a fight at 135 pounds, and then went all the way up to 154 pounds. Of course, this is things you don't see with the men, but with the women, these are some of the things they have to do and they need to do because if they're looking for a competition, because sometimes the competition's not there. In Terri Harper's case, she took that loss to Alicia Baumgardner, who's one of the notable names that she fought, Alicia Baumgardner and Natasha Jonas. She took that loss, she moved up. 130 was getting too hard for her to make, so she moved up to 135. She saw an opportunity at 154, boom, jumped on it, fought Hannah Rankin, and beat her comfortably, and won the belt. That just speaks to her ability. And she's only 26. She's only 26. So let's get into the style of fighter that Terri Harper is. She's a boxer puncher, and she's still growing as a fighter. Like I mentioned, she's only 26 with no significant amateur experience, and she still has been able to become a 2-weight division champ. Harper looks most comfortable at mid-range. She's not that crafty on the inside quite yet, but she's improving. She's been getting better and better. She's been working with Steffi Bull her whole career, and she's shown gradual improvement every time she's out. She's a good combination puncher and displays solid movement, pretty good movement. She can switch into southpaw, but she is strongest in the orthodox stance. What I like about Harper is she doesn't headhunt, and she will attack what the opponent leaves open, and sometimes what she baits the opponent to leave open, which shows her progression as a fighter. So if you're looking for that balanced attack at those weights that I mentioned, Terri Harper is a good choice. She does move around the ring a little bit more than Cecilia Braekhus, but Harper can mix it on the inside a little bit better than Braekhus. I think she is a better inside fighter than Braekhus. You want a little bit better inside fighting, you like a mid-range attack, you like a boxer puncher, Terri Harper is your choice while you're playing Undisputed Early Access. Or at least give her a shot. Natasha Jonas. Weights fought at super featherweight, lightweight, super lightweight, super welterweight. World titles won, unified WBC, IBF, and WBO super welterweight champ. Natasha Jonas is another who started out low, as you tell, super featherweight, and jumped up to super welterweight. She had a huge 2022. So the style of fighter that Natasha Jonas is, she's a skilled southpaw with power. You can see her amateur pedigree when she fights. She won the bronze medal in the 2012 Olympic Games. She can fight going backwards and coming forward. Very good counterpuncher, fights with a controlled pace, very good left hook, and all-around toolbox. She knows her strengths and she uses them well. That's what I can say about Natasha Jonas. If you were looking for a more all-around fighter with a great left hook, then you want to go Natasha Jonas, the southpaw. Jelena Mrdjenovich. The weights fought at featherweight, super featherweight, lightweight, and she had one fight at super lightweight that I saw, but her best weights were feather and super feather. World titles won, she has been the unified WBA and WBC featherweight champ, and the WBC super featherweight champ. So Mrdjenovich's style of fighting, she's a pressure fighter. She doesn't have the fastest of hands, but has power and has showed that power on multiple occasions, especially her left hook. Accuracy is not great, but she stays in the pocket and will catch you if you choose to bang. That left hook is lethal. Her movement seems to be average, and of course, as she's aged, she's slowed even more. Because she's in the twilight of her career now, so hopefully in Undisputed we get prime Jelena. But her movement is not her asset. It's her constant pressure which causes her opponents to make mistakes, and that's what she capitalizes on. And she does that very well, especially when they're not seeing that left hook come. Natasha Jonas also has a great left hook. So if you're looking for a pressure fighter with a great left hook, Jelena Mrdjenovich is going to be a great choice for that. Delfine Persoon. Weights fought at featherweight, super featherweight, lightweight, and super lightweight. Her world titles won as the IBF lightweight champ and WBC lightweight champ. Separately, not at the same time. She was not unified. Delfine Persoon is a relentless pressure fighter. Her fighting style overrides her natural physical advantages because she's like 5'7", fighting at super featherweight, but she likes to get after it. She has a very good engine, with good balance of speed and power, and that fits her preferred method of fighting. The downfall of her aggressive style is that she chooses quantity over quality and ends up not as accurate at times. She just be winging punches at times, just trying to make contact. Ebanie Bridges. Weights fought at for Bridges is bantamweight, super bantamweight. She had one fight at featherweight. World titles won, IBF bantamweight champ. The style of fighter that Ebanie Bridges is, she's a pressure fighter first, who I believe slowly is evolving into a boxer puncher. And I believe she's more boxer puncher than pressure fighter these days, especially under trainer Mark Tibbs. She didn't start pro boxing until 2019 and has a very limited amateur experience. She possesses good punching power, especially with the overhand right. Her straight right is becoming just as dangerous. She's improved it rapidly. She's not a mover or that fluid of a boxer yet, but she's improving. And she uses her upper body movement to keep her opponents off balance, as well as to elude and deliver shots. Bridges really came out of nowhere. She really came out of nowhere during the pandemic, and she got an opportunity when she fought Shannon Courtney, and she did well. She did well enough. She didn't win that fight, but she did well enough that people wanted to see her. She made a name for herself. She's a numero uno marketer. She's a great self-promoter. Bridges is no joke at promoting. And she's becoming an even better fighter as time goes on. So if you're looking for a pressure fighter, or I would say more so a boxer puncher in the bantamweight division, give Ebanie Bridges a shot and throw that overhand right over a lazy jab, and you'll see some good results. Alicia Napoleon. Weights fought at super welterweight, middleweight, and super middleweight. World titles won, WBA super middleweight champ. The style of fighter, she's a stout fighter who can counterpunch and initiate the attack responsibly. She's a little more judicious, but not stingy with her punch selection. She's a pretty good combination puncher and will start her combinations from the body, the head, or off a counter, or being the first on the attack. She has good head movement, but has a tendency to be slow in bringing it back to defense. She has good feet and power that have served her well during her career. With Alicia Napoleon, she had a baby after her last fight with Aline Cederroos. She had a baby and she hasn't been back in the ring since. So I don't know if she's going to continue her career or what. But if you're looking for a solid fighter who has good punching power, maybe not great, but good punching power, a combination puncher, power in both hands, decent power in both hands, she has pretty good feet, especially at super middleweight, then Alicia Napoleon is a good choice for you. So consider using her in Undisputed. Sophie Alisch, weights fought at featherweight, world titles won, none. Her style of fighter, she's a pure boxer. She's a pure boxer, a young fighter still learning her craft and applying her style. She fights off the jab, good movement, quick hands, doesn't walk straight in, likes to weave her way into range along with using the jab, has a tendency to just shell up when opponents put on serious pressure, and she does appear susceptible to a good counterpuncher. Her hand speed helps offset some of her defensive deficiencies right now against lower tier fighters. But you have to remember, she's only 21 years old. She's very young. She's very young. She has lots of improving to do, and she's already a contender in the featherweight division. So that speaks to her skills, her work ethic, and her ability as a whole. So if you're looking for someone with quick hands, with good movement at featherweight, then Sophie Alisch is a good choice. And many of us already got a taste of Sophie Alisch. Chantelle Cameron, Jessica McCaskill, Katie Taylor. We already got a taste of those fighters. Oh, and Terri Harper as well with the beta. So we'll see what kind of tweaks they made. Because as we saw during the second beta, only Katie Taylor, she was the only fighter that actually had traits. We just have some great fighters in Undisputed for early access. There are no journey women here, and we should be thankful. Now let's use these fighters like they're intended to be used, and hopefully this video helps you get a better understanding of how you need to use them, how you should be using them, and using their attributes appropriately. But that's all I got for this one. I hope y'all enjoyed it. Like, comment, subscribe. But watching is honestly good enough for me. I'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace.